For this morning's moment of learning, I wanted to, I'm not sure if you can read that from there. I'm going to read it out loud to you. A few places in the Bible refer to levirate marriage, kinsman redeemers, or the marriage of kinsmen to childless widows, etc. What is this all about? Well, there's different ways to be able to answer that, of saying what's the purpose of it or what is it. And so I thought I would start with more of the what is it. And basically, it's kind of the purpose of it is the continued care for the family, but what is it exactly? Well, this concept is a basic concept that we see referred to in the book of Ruth. Is that it's something that's been a long part of the Hebrew society, of the Jewish community, and the concept of this, sometimes called kinsman redeemer or guardian redeemer. The word in Hebrew is just redeemer, but it has this concept with it, is that the family line and the land and the name is not going to be blotted out, or it wouldn't end abruptly, but both for the name's sake as well for caring for those within the clan or the tribe or of the family. So that's kind of the purpose of it. And we see this concept, and you're not going to be able to read this, but this is for me to be able to read here. But we see this concept all the way back in Genesis, just as when Judah married sons to Tamar to replace sons who had died without giving an heir. We see it in the book of Deuteronomy 25 as well. If brothers are living together and one of them dies without a son, his widow must not marry outside the family. Her husband's brother shall take her and marry her and fulfill the duty of a brother-in-law to her. The first son she bears shall carry on the name of the dead brother, so that his name will not be blotted out from Israel. However, if a man does not want to marry his brother's wife, she shall go to the elders of the town gate and say, my husband's brother refuses to carry on his brother's name in Israel. He will not fulfill the duty of a brother-in-law to me. Then the elders of the town shall summon him and talk to him. And if he persists in saying, I do not want to marry her, his brother's widow shall go up to him in the presence of the elders, take off one of his sandals, spit in his face. Well, that's very graphic. This is what is done to the man who will not build up his brother's family line. And that man's line shall be known in Israel as the family of the unsandaled. Why do I bring all this up? You're going to see some of this stuff as we're going through the chapter of that. No spitting goes on, so in case you're worried about that. But you see some of these things referred to, at least glancingly. But other things we see in Deuteronomy 25, I just did that one. Okay. We also see in Leviticus 25, the land must not be sold permanently because the land is mine and you reside in my land as foreigners and strangers. Throughout the land that you hold as a possession, you must provide for the redemption of the land. If one of your fellow Israelites becomes poor and sells some of their property, they also had the concept, I redacted it, but the concept of selling themselves into slavery as well. Their nearest relative is to come and redeem what they have sold. It was a way of trying to make sure that things would stay within families and they wouldn't just be gobbled up by other people and then the name be lost. So this was interpreted, as we will see, with various nuances over the millennia, but it's generally held to that same spirit by those who were faithful believers in God. We even see it referred to in the New Testament times, and these concepts take an important part in the book of Ruth. If you want to say, what time in the New Testament we see it referred to? Remember in the Sadducees, well, what happens if one brother marries and another brother marries? They're referring to that. They're actually making fun of it when they're doing it, but they're referring to that. So it's still a very well-known thing even in New Testament as well at that time. And that's what our moment of learning is for today. And